Just give me a second. Just doing the usual post. Oh, when will this ever end? These people, I tell you. Alright, we got a couple of things to go over. I wasn't actually going to stream tonight. I was actually going to take a nap. It's 9 PM. I was going to take my nighttime nap cap. And I was going to do some anime stuff, make a video, you know, all that kind of stuff. But this came out, and I debated on making a video on it. But we'll stream it instead. Yeah. So, I'll give it a couple minutes, 10 minutes, and then we'll start going over it. But a basic summary is, basically Chibi had to contact the FBI and the police again, and the law enforcement, and it's now come out that they tried to pay someone $200 to go to his house to shoot him. Is there going to be anything about Chibi in this? Has he retracted that comment? It's like, yeah. So, yeah, that's a definite escalation, and this is all apparently coming from Kiwi Farms. So Kiwi Farms is basically trying to bait a kid $200 or a teen $200 to go to his house, and in the words, shoot or get shot. The reason why this is new, because he posted it just an hour ago. In my time, pretty much, yeah, just about an hour ago. It's about an hour and 20 minutes ago. So, I'll show the tweet soon. It just wanted to give a basic summary, because we'll be going over it. It's, yeah. I mean, at least Chibi has that money from his GoFundMe where he could potentially use that for legal reasons now. I literally mentioned it last night in the stream that he needs to hang on to that money, because if something was to escalate, at least he has that to go back to, and has those funds. Now he could potentially more further take this forward, especially at the fact that now there is actual real repercussions of them actively trying to pay someone to go do something. That's, yeah, it's not particularly pleasant. So this is the tweet here. I mean, we see from here where Chibi like posted like an important "I'm done." I actually hadn't watched the video yet. I was gonna watch it later tonight, and then he said FBI is now involved. Right now I am safe. I'll be talking with the FBI, the police. Anyways, love you. And then 8 hours, takes a photo, shows proof, because people always accuse him of faking it. So, and then this is where he posted an hour ago, since rumors are spreading why the law enforcement is involved. The short summary is that Kiwi Farms was trying to pay teen to come to his house, shoot or get shoot. Like, you cannot sit here and actively defend this. But you know what's really sad? Is there are content creators that actively defend this shit. There are content creators that go behind, and I know, because I've got inside sources, right? I've got inside sources that tell me that there are some content creators high up in the medium and in the lower end that talk in chat groups that say that they think this is funny, they encourage it, they laugh about it. There are actual content creators that think this is all sunshine and rainbows. This is free entertainment for them. That someone else's life is on the line, all over anime boobies. And of course, one of those is Mother's Basement. Just to put that on the record. Mother's Basement actively mocked when Chibi got cheated on by his ex-fiancée. So it's very obvious to see that people like Mother's Basement are very much on favor for this kind of behavior. I mean, if he doesn't, he's more than happy to come out publicly and disavow this kind of behavior, but he won't, because he used to follow Chibi and he unfollowed Chibi right when this first started. Yeah. Fun fact. Mother's Basement does not give a shit. He actively defends this. Well, he doesn't actively defend it, but you kind of see how his behavior looks like a reinforcement of, you know, he doesn't really care because he's behaving in a certain way. That's one person. You've also got, of course, as been brought up in chat, Brandon's friends actively kind of laugh about this kind of stuff. I know that because I've already had people from his own community tell me behind closed doors that going, yeah, they really hate Chibi. Then you've also got the chat groups that I've mentioned in my tweets before, where I've talked about how there's these private little chat groups with these kids on Twitter that actively stalk him, that actively harass him, that actively cheer this stuff on. They want him gone, they want me gone, but they see Chibi as an easy target because, of course, they know where he lives, they know about his family, they have all those connections, so they see Chibi as a much more easier target. If you're wondering why they don't go after me as much, that's why. They don't have as much to work with. Because, of course, they don't know anything about my family, and not like they can because they're all dead anyway, but they don't know where I live, they don't know my real name, they don't know any of that, so they don't know how to find me. That's why they're not as interested in me, because I'm not as an easier target. GB, on the other hand, is someone that they've actively been hunting and looking for. Well, they know where he lives, so that's what they keep doing. Why doesn't Chibi move out? Probably sounds a lot easier than said than done. He would have to sell the house. He'd probably have to pay capital gains tax on that property, and then he'd have to find a new property, and then he'd still have to run the risk of someone still finding him in anyway. Because America has really stupid systems when it comes to finding people. It's very easy apparently to find people in the US. Like your private information is very public in the US. In Australia, where I live, it's not easy to find me. You can't find me on the internet unless you know my name. Even if you knew my full real name, you still wouldn't be able to easily find me unless I publicly posted on, say, like a Facebook account. So it's not very easy to find people like me in other countries, but in the US, it's apparently very easy to find people, which is why it's really stupid, which is why a lot of people go out of their way to hide their personal information, why they hide their faces, why they hide their names. A lot of people do go out of their way to try and hide as much as they can. They don't want to deal with an angry Aussie. To be honest, what are they going to do? Pay someone to come to Australia and try and look for me? I mean, most of Australians probably don't even know how to use the internet, let alone the people that do. And I mean, there are some people in my community that are in the content, because I know some VTubers that live in my state that aren't pleasant people. They don't know I exist, but I know they exist. And even they wouldn't know how to find me. There's like 5 people that know where I live, other than the government. Is the gun law similar to the US and Australia? No. I'm allowed to own a gun. I'm not allowed to use it. I don't actually own a gun, to be very clear there. I do not own one, but I would be allowed to own one. All I'd have to do is go for a police clearance check and do a course, pay a license, and then I'd be allowed... What am I drinking? Coke. I'd be allowed to actually possess a gun, but I wouldn't be allowed to carry it. And I wouldn't be allowed to use it in self-defense, because we don't really have the same castle laws over here. But at the same time, you've got to think like someone might be able to bring a gun to my house and try and... I've got security on my house anyway, but I do plan to actually upgrade my security on my house. I'm planning to get some things done to it to improve my own security, just in case something like this happens. That is something that I'm planning to do down the road very soon. I've been in contact with an electrician when it comes to security cameras, and going to be getting some other stuff done to the house to reinforce it. But if someone was to break into my house, there are things in plain sight that I have. If I remember correctly what the cop told me, because I've got a cop as a friend that I do karate with. He said to me, you're allowed to use any form of self-defense, but if they run, you're not allowed to chase them. So technically, if someone broke into my house and tried to attack me, I am allowed to defend them, but if they start running away, then I'm not allowed to chase them. So, yeah. Self-defense is allowed. We do have self-defense laws here. I don't know the exact laws. I just know that if someone attacks you, you are allowed to defend yourself. But if they run, you're not allowed to chase them. I'd have to check the Australia. I'd actually have to check the laws properly, but I've never really looked that detail because I just have the simple philosophy of if you attack me, I'm going to defend myself, which is, again, legally compliant with the law over here. It's just, yeah, guns and that kind of stuff is more of a... You can have a license to own it, you just don't carry it. But you're not even really allowed to use it. Yeah, you can use equal force here. Yeah. I never really asked cops about it, but I just remember having a conversation with a cop while... Because I in my rank, in my blue belt rank, I have a cop that's in my rank, and we spar all the time because we're both in the same rank. And he's really good, bro. He's really good. But he's got a lot more experience than me. And he told me, because I asked him, I said, if someone attacks me, what am I allowed to do? And he said, you're allowed to use equal force. He said, if they attack you, you're allowed to do whatever you need to do to protect yourself, but it's equal force, and they'll judge you based on that. Like, if you go over the top and deliberately try to inflict more pain than not necessary, then you could get into trouble. But he said if they run, you're not allowed to chase. That's basically it. If they present a gun, you can then use it. Oh, really? There you go. By the way, that Renee, I don't know why I get your name wrong. Yeah, that she lives in Australia, so she knows the law. So yeah, if they present a gun, you're allowed to use a gun. I'd have to ask a cop on that too, just to double check. But I would believe you on that. Maybe I should get my gun license. I wouldn't have any problems getting my gun license. To be very clear, I would not have any problems. It's a police clearance check, and you do a course, and then you pay a license fee, and that's it. I think that's as far as it goes. And I know I wouldn't get stopped on my police clearance because I have no criminal record. I've never been arrested. I've never been pulled over. As far as I'm aware, that the gun had been told by a former cop. I could ask... I know 2 cops, so I could ask one if I wanted to, but I'd say you're probably right on that. It's pretty much equal force. But that would indicate that we do have some form of a castle law. I'd be kind of curious, actually. Could ask Rock. We're going to have some fun. We'll ask Rock. We'll see what it comes up with. What are the laws when it comes to guns and self-defense? If someone was to break into my house and point a gun at me and threaten to shoot me, am I allowed to use a gun to defend myself in Australia?
Yes, you're allowed to use a gun to defend yourself in that exact scenario. If someone breaks into your house, points a gun at you, and threatens to shoot, you can legally use your firearm to defend yourself or your family. Australian self-defense laws let you use reasonable and proportionate force when you genuinely believe your life is in imminent danger, and an intruder pointing a gun at you meets that test. The force has to match the threat. An armed intruder threatening lethal violence justifies a lethal response. Courts assess whether your belief was honest and reasonable in the moment. They give you some leeway in a terrifying home invasion. A few important realities, though. You can't legally own a gun for self-defense. Home protection isn't a valid reason for a firearms license in any state. You need a genuine reason like target shooting, hunting, or primary production. Storage rules still apply. Your gun must be locked up properly when not in use. If you have to fumble with a safe while someone's pointing a gun at you, that's a problem. You'll likely face investigation. Even if it's clear-cut self-defense, police will investigate, and you might end up in court explaining your actions. The prosecution has to prove beyond reasonable doubt that it wasn't self-defense. Self-defense laws are broadly similar across Australia, though South Australia is a bit more homeowner-friendly on paper. No true castle doctrine or stand your ground like in parts of the US. It's always about reasonable response to the threat. Bottom line, in your nightmare scenario, the law is on your side. But the best outcome is never needing to test it. Good locks, alarms, and lights still do most of the work.
Well, there you go. It's interesting because I knew a friend that actually has a firearms license, and I mean, he does use it for like recreational use of like firing practice and stuff like that, but I would say, yeah, you're allowed to use it for self-defense. So, and I remember this wording right here from the cop that I spoke to: reasonable and proportional force. That was the exact phrase he used when it comes to physical self-defense and firearm based as well. But specifically when we were talking about actual combat, like hand-to-hand combat. Like if someone broke into my house and had a knife, I'd be allowed to use whatever force is necessary to get that knife off of them and defend myself. But I'm pretty sure it's not hard to get my gun license over here. If I wanted it, I could get it quite easily. Even though it says here you can't claim it's for self-defense, I've never seen anyone not have any problems that really wanted to get one over here. It's just the amount of guns is much more limiting than in the US. Like in the US, I think you're allowed to have as many as you want. But in Australia, there are limits to how many guns you can possess. And generally, if you're in a farm, you're allowed to own more than that. But they've restricted that since last year as well because of the whole Bondi shooting as well. So there's that whole situation. But that explains, yeah. But there you go. Grok solves everything. But that is exactly the same wording that I remember the police officer telling me about force. Reasonable and proportional force. And they will judge it based on that. I think they probably still need some more clearer castle laws over here in Australia to make it more favourable of like if you are an invader, then you don't get as much leeway. Because I feel sometimes some of the laws in Australia do kind of have some like protection for home invaders. But I think they also do it so that you can't just like invite someone over and then just shoot them and say, oh yeah, they invaded. But I think cameras is an important thing. Do I have a My Anime List account? No. I don't really use My Anime List anymore. Just because of all the crap that goes on that website. But one of the things that I was thinking when this got announced, this is what's going to push people to want to bring in digital ID even more now. Because people are going to see stuff like this, and they're going to say, oh, this is why we need digital ID now. Because these websites do this kind of stuff, and we need to be able to track who does these kinds of things. Something like this will be... if say, let's hypothetically say something was to happen, right? And Chibi's life was taken. Thank God that hasn't happened. But people would use that as a vehicle to push the idea of digital ID. Kiwi Farms is just demonstrating how psychotic and unreasonable they are. They are not sane. I'm just glad he's safe. But this is why having that money now that he has is important. Because now he can look at potentially maybe taking some legal action. If they can build a substantial case, this is much more heavy duty. I mean, they did send something at his address last time, but I just feel like he needs to look into this further with a lawyer and legal actions. Chibi's still going to be on the internet, right? Because I did watch a video and I thought he was going to be on the... He still make content. I actually haven't watched his new video here. I mean, we could probably watch it. But yeah, it's not too difficult, I believe. It's something I'm looking at too. Yeah, I mean, Chat disconnected. Successfully connected. Chat just disconnected on me. I don't know why. It's the first time I've ever seen that message. It's not like I've broken any of YouTube's terms of service, so I don't know why they're disconnecting chat and then reconnecting it. First time. How does one leak his address? I think I don't know how they originally found his address. But I mean, in America, I think there's a couple of ways that they can go about it quite easily. It's why I keep my personal information very private. It's why I won't even show outside my house. Like, this is as far as you basically see is in this room. Because I try to keep my personal stuff quite personal. But people have recognized me in public, but only in the city. And it's only been twice. One was at a movie theater and one was at a convention. And at the movie theater, it was to go see the Sword Art Online movie, the progressive one. And the guy was nice. He was just behind me. He said, "Oh yeah, you sound like him." He shook my hand and he said he was a fan of my content. And we went and watched the movie. Went to see both the same movie. The other time was at a convention. The guy just spoke to me. He mentioned something about me and him having like an argument in a comments or something, and I'm like, oh, I gotta be careful when it comes to getting feisty in comment sections, because people will potentially hold grudges. In the US, buying a firearm is fast and easy for me anyway. Takes 5 to 20 minutes for rifles and handguns. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That is very true. That is very true. I feel like Australia could do probably better when it comes to more clearer, better gun laws and making sure that it's in the use for protection and using it as a self-defense of like a last resort, right? I understand people don't like the idea of carrying a firearm out in public, and it's probably not something we would need in Australia, but being able to use it in a more self-defense in Australia, I think would still be very useful. You know, if you're on a property and someone's invading you and they've got a weapon, you know, especially if they've got like a large weapon. I know they've tried to ban machetes over here and all that, with like those sword things. People still have them. People still use them over here. So I think we might watch this just to know what the context is to this, because I know some people were talking about it. So we might go over it just to see what he has to say.
Every single morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is think about how much I am thankful to have you guys that have supported me over the years, and especially over these last few months. I honestly don't think I can ever repay you guys for the amount of love and support you have shown me. I think every single day I will be trying my best to make sure I can live up to your guys' expectations, because you guys have legitimately been one of the most shining bright lights in my life, and one of the big driving forces that even allows me to still be here right now, even being able...
Bans don't welcome no, they don't. It was actually funny because when they did the gun limitation laws in Australia from last year, from the Bondi shooting, there was a meme going around about gun laws and how much there's so many like little regulations and red tape and all that, right? It is kind of really annoying to get a gun compared to America. It's not impossible, but it does have a lot of annoying restrictions on it. But you can get one, right? But I sent the meme and I sent it to a cop, and they outright said that the gun restrictions that we have in Australia are useless. That they don't actually decrease gun shootings at all. It's just an annoying system that the government just has to restrict guns. And that's why I say, you know, I think they need to loosen some of them up and make it a bit easier for people to have a gun for a self-defense from a property standpoint. Not necessarily, you know, carry one around in a supermarket or anything, but have one in your own home for your own safety. But the government likes to be overly picky about that. But I've spoken to multiple police officers, and one of them outright said to me, yeah, gun restrictions don't actually help in Australia. They really don't. They just generally do. Because it's the bad guys that have the guns. The people that are abiding by those laws are the ones that should probably need it more than anything, and the ones that don't need it are the criminals, which they're the ones not abiding by it. And it's not hard to 3D print guns these days. It's not hard. You only need to know the basics of 3D printing, and you can make some pretty dangerous weapons. So, yeah. Kneecapping the civilians is more of a government over it. Yeah, it is. Getting a gun illegally is easier than people think. To be honest, it's probably easier to get a gun illegally in this country than it is to get it legally. That's probably the sad reality. And that's where you have a problem. And government's solution is, well, we'll just crack down on the illegal ones. Sure, but maybe we should look at maybe allowing the right people to have a gun a little bit easier and restrict the bad people from having it. You know, making sure crazy people and criminals don't have a license. Because that's the thing also, is that in some countries, like, you know, in America, they have laws to make sure that bad people that have broken the law aren't allowed to use a gun. There's one content creator that just got a 10-year ban from owning a firearm. You know who I'm referring to? I'm just going to say Pikachu, 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 Pikachu multiple times just in case he's on this. You'll know if you know what I'm referring to. But yeah. just to point out, I think I was the guy that you talked to at the convention. Was it at the figure store? Soul Reaper? Was it at the figure store? Because if it was, there was only one person I spoke to at the convention that recognized me, so... If it was, then it was you. I was sweating, because every time someone recognizes me, they go, oh, I know you, and I'm like, did I do something wrong? There are restrictions for gun clubs too. Due to Bondi, there are restrictions for visitors with visitors not being allowed to enter premises with a member. Okay.
Able to talk with you guys. To all those through the screen right now that has like given me support either through comments or the silent watchers, people that either, let's say, leave a like on the video or just give a view, I appreciate all of you. You guys have legitimately been individuals out there right now. I'm addressing all of you individually that has put a smile on my face. In the darkest moments, in the darkest times, you guys in particular have been the individuals that have really allowed me.
And just to clarify on the Bondi thing, the gun restrictions that they put in place because of the Bondi situation would have done nothing for that situation. Those gun restrictions done by Albanese were pointless and dumb. They genuinely were pointless. If those gun laws existed, the restrictions that they put in place existed before the Bondi thing still would have happened. You know why? Because the people that had those guns should have never had them to begin with, because they were on a watch list. Particularly, the son was on the watch list. The father apparently wasn't, but the son was on the watch list. Yet they still allowed him to possess a gun. So the people that shouldn't have a gun, but apparently, you know, they make it harder for normal people. That's why Australia has such stupid restrictions. And it mostly just affected farmers, which I think one state, I think it was, not Victoria, Tasmania, apparently I think, or it's either WA or Tasmania, they're planning to not even follow the restrictions. We were talking at a figure store and I mentioned Hex. Yes, you were that one. Yeah, there was only one person that recognized me that entire convention. So it was you, yeah. Yeah, but I always panic. When people recognize me. I'll be like, did I say something wrong? Because, I mean, I see situations with what Chibi's going through. The last thing I want is to piss someone off online and then they see me in a convention and be like, hey, you said that mean thing, I'm going to toss you up, mate. That's why I always panic nowadays. I'm like, it's a dangerous time. Honestly, if I started content creation now, I would consider probably being a VTuber just because hiding the face, but it's already out there, so... But yeah, good old times. Hex competitive. That guy. He was a funny one.
To continue to smile, to continue to push on forward, so to speak. And, you know, over these last few months, I've done, to be completely blunt, I've done a lot of soul searching. I've thought about it, and there was moments where I was about to break, be done. Like, there was a moment, to be completely blunt, rip off the Band-Aid. There was a moment back in February where I was so close to just quitting social media, quitting YouTube, being done. And the reason why is because of just all of the overwhelming negative emotions I had at the time. And it wasn't because I hate YouTube. It's not that I hate anime, manga, and hate talking about it. Like, one of the biggest joys in my life.
I know how he feels. I think, and this is the thing, a lot of people just say, well, why don't you just stop? Why don't you just step back? And I've spoken to Chibi about this privately and publicly. And I understand why he thinks the way that he feels. He doesn't want to give them the satisfaction that they've won. Because that's what his haters want. They want him to quit. They want him to quit so that they can take his place as, you know, the bigger content creator. That's why people like Mother's Basement don't really care about this kind of stuff. And that's why they almost cheer it on behind closed doors, is because at the end of the day, the less people in the content creator space that they can scare off, the more their favorites grow and the more power and influence they possess. They just like ripping other people down so that they can gain something. And so I think Chibi really has the mindset that he doesn't want to give them the satisfaction of that idea of you won kind of thing. And I understand exactly how he feels. VTuber face really easy to find anyway. Yeah, they kind of are, because I mean, if your voice is very distinctive, and mine is very distinctive, because I've got a bit of a nasal, because I've got a broken nose, so it's a little bit easier to hear my noise. I'm overplaying it a little bit, but yeah, it's a little bit nasally. You could probably pick up on who I am in public. There are some VTubers that I can tell you right now, if you heard their voice online and you hear it in public, you know who they are. So it's not hard. That's why some VTubers, they squeak their voice a little bit more to hide it just a little bit more. But I don't know if I would be able to do that all the time.
Is making calls.
Stepping back won't do that. They'll keep harassing him until he kicks the chair. Well, that's the thing. Quite literally kicks the chair, yeah. And they'll keep going after him until, yeah, he's gone. But then after that, they'll find a new target. They never stop. So if anything, Chibi's staying is actually protecting other content creators from being the next target. And trust me, a lot of the content creators that cheer this stuff on, they'd probably be one of the next targets on the list at some point. Because these people on these websites, they won't ever stop. They don't have a loyalty to content creators. They simply use content creators as a tool to harass other people to then move on to the next target. If you have a shit enough mic and a voice, it's harder to find. Well, yeah. I mean, this microphone I've had for like almost 8... I'd say I've had this probably for 6 or 7 years. This was gifted to me by my raid leader on World of Warcraft. He said to me, if you play WoW... He told me to quit WoW. And he said, do YouTube. And if you do it for a full year and you stick with it, he'd buy me all this equipment. And so he bought me this. He bought me that. He bought me the stand. I've got the little focus thing here. He also bought my phone. Wherever the hell did I put my phone? This phone here. He bought me this. This is like over $1,000. He bought that for me. So I got my little Camilla background image. Can't even see it. That's shocking. See? Camilla. Boobies. Boobies. Yay. But yeah. Can we raid someone after stream? I don't even know how to raid people. I don't even know how to do that. I generally do not know how to raid. Apparently there's like some special button you can do. And it allows you to raid people. I don't know if I can do it on mine. Because I use Streamlabs. Maybe I'll have to ask someone. How rich is your raid boss? My raid leader? I don't know. He does business in New Zealand. So he's a business person. But yeah, I think he spent like several $1,000s buying my entire rig setup. I think it was around 2,000 he spent.
Content
which was a lot back then because that was like 6-7 years ago.
Talking with you guys is talking about anime, manga.
And we're still friends. We still talk. We've both invested in companies together, and we still do whenever we get the opportunity. So we still do a lot of stuff. We don't talk all the time, but we still talk from time to time.
Good news, bad news. I like talking about what I'm passionate with, because to be completely blunt.
In short, Chibi is way too invested in the BS. Other people say it's not easy not to care. Yeah, it's not easy not to care when you're getting attacked all the time. And people make stuff up about him. I mean, actually, a great example is his recent tweet here. Literally, someone saying here, maybe you shouldn't go around calling people lolly in real life. I'm not even a hater, by the way. That was a completely made up fake tweet back from like this. What they did was they doctored this tweet and changed it so that they could then and they got rid of the image and everything, and they used that as a way to claim that he called someone a lolly. And that's what I mean. A lot of these people that attack Chibi just make stuff up. They use fake screenshots, they use fake tweets and all kinds of stuff. And then and by the way, when Chibi called this person out, he literally says, well, if it's not real, post maybe you should try your best to clarify as much as possible. How many times has Chibi made videos, tweets, everything trying to debunk this stuff? And yet, he gets accused of it, and then when he points it out, they say, well, why don't you do more? People already complain about him obsessing about this stuff enough as it is. And yet, they're saying he should obsess about it more. It's like, this is the problem. Chibi cannot win no matter what situation he's in. My only criticism is not being overly personal with a lot of like his relationship stuff. He shouldn't get too personal online, just because, yeah, they use it as a weapon. And I stand by that. But as far as this kind of stuff goes, he's doomed if he do, doomed if he doesn't. Like, if he calls it out, right? Oh, he's obsessing about it. He's milking drama. Oh, he's trying to make money off his dead brother's corpse. But then if he doesn't say anything about it, they just keep making lies up, and then people use that as a justification to say, well, Chibi did this and he didn't call it out, so clearly it's true. And it's like, yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. I just say doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. But yeah, and that's the problem. If he calls it out, they attack him for obsessing over it. He doesn't call it out. They use that as a leverage of, see, he's clearly hiding. So he can't win no matter what he does in this situation. How's he meant to win with this? It's an endless cycle for him. And that's why I am concerned about his mental well-being, because I think it's going to continuously spiral out of control until they just either give up, which I don't think they will, because clearly Kiwi Farms has an obsession with a guy that just likes anime boobies. Do they expect him to not respond over the BS they say? Exactly. And so I don't think they're ever going to stop, because I think they just have an obsession with him now. And I think they're so far deep in their, like, parasocial obsession with him that they're not going to stop. Like, Kiwi Farms is generally overrun by a lot of neckbeards that just don't have anything else better to do in their own lives, so they create purpose by thinking, well, if we just harass people on the internet and we find any person that we just slightly dislike, we can justify it by creating a fictional headcanon, right? Instead of going after genuine bad people, which they won't because they don't really care, they go after just Chibi, right? Like, his biggest crimes are memes.
When I was growing up, I didn't have anyone to talk with. Like,
Kiwi Farms is generally worse than Reddit. Yeah.
Like, nobody was into anime and manga. Like, I was the kid going to school when I went into like middle school, or like elementary, middle school, and then high school. I was the kid that would get bullied and thrown into a locker for talking about Dragon Ball. And I know this seems like an insane thing to say, because obviously we live in an age now to where...
And I understand why people don't like Chibi's changing content, right? I understand why people say, hey, I don't like the fact that Chibi doesn't focus as much on anime reviews as much. And honestly, I actually probably could suggest this to him, because with recent YouTube changes, he could probably do this. But one of the reasons, and I spoke about this on last night's stream, is because of YouTube's algorithm. Right? YouTube's algorithm has drastically changed over the years, and a lot of people just want the drama, the politics, and all that kind of stuff. So Chibi's always covered censorship stuff and some of the political stuff going on within the anime community, but he also used to do anime news and reviews. But people don't care as much about the anime news and reviews as much. So Chibi generally just focused on what people generally wanted more. And now people are like, well, he quit that stuff. I think what Chibi should consider is making a second channel where he focuses more on the reviews aspect of things, and then just uses that as a way to link it back to his main channel, because you can do a special system where you do what you call collaborative work, where you can link two channels. A video can be linked to two channels at once. I think that's something Chibi could maybe consider doing. I might suggest it to him someday, but right now I think he's got a little bit more on his plate than worrying about making a second channel. Kiwi Farm's entire thing is to document lolcows, and since they deem Chibi a lolcow, they see it as justified. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, Kiwi Farms has become the lolcow. Let's be honest here. I know he's kind of personality. He wants to set it for everyone right, and that's not possible. Yeah. He wants to correct the record and be like, hey, you know, this is true, this is not. And I'm exactly the same. I sometimes have situations where I get argumentative with people. Chibi anime review. Yeah, I mean, you could just call it Chibi reviews. Chibi reviews. Call it that. That'd be a good meme. Chibi news, that would work. I'd just say call it Chibi reviews. Just meme it, right? And yeah, just have a second channel, upload it on that channel, and then when he uploads it, he can go into the settings and do collaborative, because you have a set, I mentioned this before, you have that setting where you can go collaborate, and it allows you to collaborate to your main channel. So when he uploads on the second channel, he can upload it to his main channel, and so both get it. Chibi News sounds nice. Yeah, but then if he calls it Chibi News and he does reviews and then he does non-reviews on the reviews, it's going to be pure chaos. That's why I just like the memeing of like Chibi reviews. But I don't know, he could figure it out.
Like, anime and manga is accepted way more than it used to be. Obviously, there's still sites where people will bully you. Obviously. We know this one. But anime is technically more accepted.
And yeah, even if Chibi did start focusing more on anime reviews and news and he stopped doing politics, they'd still go after him. They will still go after him. They don't care. They will never stop because they see him as a target. Chibi News Network. Well, I mean, I've been doing a lot more news on my main channel now. I did that one the other day. See, I did those two. I need to do some more review stuff, but I did some news the other night. So call it Chibi Reviews News. So, but I feel like Chibi just needs to, if he, not worry about the news, but worry about more of the go back to doing some of his manga stuff and light novel stuff and anime stuff. Do some more of that on a second channel. And then just do his political stuff on the main channel.
And the thought of someone throwing you into a
I think that would work better for him.
Dragon Ball Z sounds insane in this day and age. But I was one of those kids, and because of that, I didn't have anyone I could really discuss anime and manga with, discuss my hobbies with, gaming, etc. Because obviously I lived in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere basically, and I wasn't able to make as many friends. So one of the driving forces...
I mean, I still have that issue over here, right? There's not as many people in real life that I can talk to about anime and manga and stuff like that, which was why I started my channel the way I did as well. How about you, Chibi, Monte? And the problem is Chibi's very hard to get to sit down. He's very camera shy. Well, I say that. He's very shy at talking to people. He doesn't mind making videos because it's... And to be honest, I'm the exact same, actually. I actually find it really hard to stream sometimes. Because I kind of always get cautious, like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? But whenever it comes to videos, it's very easy for me to make a video. It's a lot harder to do streaming, right? So for Chibi, going on a podcast and talking to a group of people is probably a lot more... I think he's very shy and very timid. So it's like one of those. And it's not like I'm socially awkward or anything. I'm quite sociable. I find social interactions very taxing for me. I've been trying to actually learn a lot more about why I find social interactions quite taxing. And based on the research that I found out, even the source that I went to, because I was actually using Grok for part of it, even Grok actually came up with an answer and said you should not probably talk about this. You should not tell people in public why you don't want to interact with people, like, talk as much, because of what it is. Like, it's not anything bad, but one of the reasons why I don't like talking to a lot of people, or lots of people in general, is because my brain... I believe I'm autistic, but my brain overanalyzes things. So what it does is my brain has this thing where it looks for... It's hyper pattern recognition, where I look at people's behavior traits, and I can't turn it off in my brain. So, like, if I'm in a group and I'm talking to people, I will look at subtle cues, like the way they stand, the way they look, the way they tone, all these different cues. And so whenever I'm interacting with people, it's a lot more taxing for me because I'm overanalyzing or hyperanalyzing every social interaction to an extreme level. And so I can pick up on subtle cues. It's one of the reasons why I will call out people. Like a year ago, I called out a specific content creator saying that they were going to pivot their behavior, and then a year later, they did exactly that. And then I started getting DMs from content creators saying, how did you know that? How did you pick up on those behavior traits? It's because I overanalyze things. And so because of that, I don't like interacting with people a lot in real life or even online, because my brain just keeps overanalyzing things. And so I can't turn it off. And so it's just one of those where it's just like, Sometimes I like being alone because it means my brain isn't analyzing people. Apparently it's quite a rare thing to have, to the degree that I have it in, because people generally have it, all people have it, but I have it on a hyper scale, where my brain analyzes things to a point where I can pick up on very subtle cues on their behavior traits, but I can also do it not just to people, but I can also do it to other things going on, like events, different trends, that kind of stuff. So it's just one of those reasons why I don't like being too much out in the public talking to people. It's not because I'm antisocial, it's just mentally it takes a lot more out of me. But whenever I hang out with my friends in real life, it doesn't bother me as much because my brain doesn't do it with them, but it will do it with other people. So it's a very my brain it just overworks itself. Don't have to have a spectrum of autism, maybe bad experience of life, social interactions, or experience with bad people. It could be that, but the problem is it's like my brain is trained to pick up on a lot of little things, and I always hyper-analyze things. And I checked into it, and I could probably get like a proper test done to have a proper diagnosis on it. I've not cared enough to really do it, because it's not like it would impact me in real life that much. It would just be like a title thing. Too long didn't read, you came with a mentalist skill by default. Kind of, yeah. And the thing is I've had it for a very long time. One of my friends in real life, he's been in multiple relationships, and I've basically predicted almost every single outcome of how his relationships turned out. Like, I worked out that he was being gaslit and catfished by his girlfriend before he even realized it, based on one sentence that I had with him. He told me one thing about her, and I had one interaction with her, and I knew he was gaslighting her and catfishing him. I spent less than 5 minutes having a conversation with her, and I knew exactly what she was doing. That was one of his girlfriends. The other girlfriend he had, I also predicted it. I predicted that she would ditch him within a couple of months of their interactions, based on going to a movie thing with him, and that was another thing as well. Like, I don't know how I do it. I generally don't. I'm just able to predict things and pick up on emotion cues and everything way too good. That's an ability, though. You are good at reading emotions. Yeah, I can read emotions very, very, very well, but I can also read emotions through tweets as well. But it's more like behavior patterns. Like, I can pick up on behavior patterns. And it's not just people that I can do it with too. I can do it when it comes to like tech trends or technology, or like social kind of structures or political stuff going on. I can pick up on patterns. It's high pattern recognition, just very hyper scaled. But when I was doing my research on it, and I was like, oh, should I tell people about it? It did say to me, you probably shouldn't make it public because people might get a little bit scared. And I was like, okay, maybe. But I'm like, I don't really care too much. And it's only 40 people watching me, so what are you all going to do? Clip it? Not that I care, but yeah. Maybe because your brain created a defense mechanism to be more careful in the future, just theory though. It could be, but I think it's also just one of those, like, yeah, it's like a skill you pick up. You learn things about behaviors, and it just, the brain constantly is analyzing things. It's like a muscle kind of thing. It's not like I know how to turn it off. It just doesn't turn off, so.
Was to basically eventually find a community online. And that's what drove me to make a channel, a YouTube channel, why I'm here. And that happened, and I've been here ever since. It's been since 2013, well, 2014 technically, at the beginning of 2014. And it's been a long time, and it's been some of the best years of my entire life. I honestly don't know what I would be doing right now if I wasn't a content creator. I want to be honest.
We will clip you and cancel you. Brilliant.
But back into the main point. I've gotten a little bit on a tangent here. I was close to quitting. And the reason for that is because there has been not just stuff, let's say, online, but stuff in my personal life that has been really, yeah, you guys know, you guys have already heard. So, when you're dealing with stuff on both sides, it does eat away at you. It does eat away at your mind. It eats away at you, at your, like, just your mental state, to be complete.
I've had this experience as well. There was a point where I actually dreaded opening up the comment sections of my videos. And I don't even really open up the comment sections in my videos. I used to when I first started YouTube. I used to open up the comments all the time. And I used to obsess about every single comment, pretty much. I had to turn that off at some point in my brain as well, because it got so stressful, because it was just, there was so much toxicity, so much hatred in my comment section. Like, it's just the internet in general, but it's just like, you have like a lot of good comments, but then you'll just have like a couple of those bad ones and it really irritates you. And I still do from time to time, but it got so stressful that I just generally, I hated opening my comment section up, but I still would do it anyway. And that's why I ended up developing the mindset of just blocking people that are just trolls or toxic. Because it's just like, I have a no F's given kind of policy. Oh, now I feel kind of bad putting you in that state of mind. Oh, no, don't feel about it. Don't feel bad about it, Soul Reaper. I enjoy conventions because it's that one time where I get to interact with a lot of people that I know in real life and different people that I meet up with. So don't feel bad about it. But it's just something like say, for example, with conventions, right? I'll go to them, I'll spend, 2-3 days at a convention, and I'll enjoy it. But at the end of it, then I'll need to detox for a week. I'll need to just chill, play some games, isolate myself for a week, so that way I can sort of like build that battery back up. Because I like socializing with people. I generally do enjoy it. But it's one of those where it's like, it's a social battery, where it's just like, my brain just overanalyzes everything, looks at social cues and all that kind of stuff going on. Looks like Chud Logic is also doing a live stream on Chibi. I'm kind of curious to see if he's saying anything good or bad. I can't remember who Chud Logic is again. There's so many rude names. There's a bloody mosquito. Bloody mosquito. The issue is that nowadays rage bait and outright stupid comments get a bunch of interactions, so the dopamine addicts tend to abuse hating on people. Yes, that's exactly the issue when it comes to social media. A lot of those people use that now as a... Because it is. You go on social media, and that's why I think Chibi gets a lot of hate, is because it's an easy way to get views. It's an easy way to get attention. Right? People will just see that and go, oh, look, I can get 100k impressions if I just call Chibi a slur or something, and bada bing, bada boom. I've seen a bunch of videos made on him where they've not even actually gone over the facts of what he has said and done. They'll just kind of like twist things and cherry pick things, and boom, 250,000 views. Because it's easy to just rage bait and clickbait stuff nowadays, because people are very easily emotionally controlled. It's why genuine anime and review stuff doesn't get the views anymore, and why political content is so popular now. Because political content is extremely like emotionally driven, right? It's an easy way to get you invested in it. It's why a lot of content creators have pivoted more to politics. Chud Logic was a lefty tuber turned drama tuber. Okay. It's just, I can't remember his name that well, so I'm just like, I'll look it up. Oh, yeah. I generally need to see the... I generally need to see it to be able to know who the person is. I mean, he's got a lot of views.
But Jake's...
He's on stream right now. I don't know what the hell he's going over. But it's Chibi Reviews, new pathetic attempt at victimhood... I just want to show, just so I can point out. I mean, how long's he been going for? Pretty much around the same time as me. I mean, I'm not really surprised. I am not surprised. But I mean, yeah, the internet has gotten a lot worse since COVID as well. I'm just kind of seeing what he's actually going over. He's mostly going over the Michael Jackson stuff. He hasn't really gone over the Chibi stuff, I don't think. He might be saving the Chibi stuff for later. But I don't really get why he's titled it Chibi Reviews New Pathetic Attempt at Victimhood when literally Kiwi Farms is actively trying to pay someone. And again, you can try and claim that Chibi's lying here, but I really highly doubt Chibi's lying about this, especially when he's showing hard proof of Kiwi Farms saying and doing these things, right? So Chud Logic, yet again, just demonstrating that dude has a couple of brain cells missing upstairs. I'm not particularly surprised by him. I mean, sometimes he makes some good videos criticizing people. I mean, his criticisms of Tectone are somewhat pretty decent-ish, right? I'm not a big fan of Tectone, obviously. So when other people criticize Tectone, it's generally, you know, I'm generally curious. But it's kind of interesting, because, yeah, I mean, he went after Saikuna, the most disgusting man on Twitch, just apologize. They try to make him sound like he committed a hate crime or something. Okay, yes, I get it. Saikuna is a cheating loser, right? He cheated on his girlfriend. He slept with a bunch of chicks, bunch of VTubers, bunch of streamers, all the rest. But Jesus Christ, Chud Logic, I know you're desperate to clickbait. And you couldn't even get 3.8k views for that kind of clickbait? Jesus Christ, bro. That's just desperate. That's like quartering Slop. And you're criticizing quartering. I can see why he's fixating on the quartering now, because that's the only thing that seems to be getting him views right now. 22k, 17k, 12k, 13k. So I get it. I get it, Chud Logic. I see why you're milking the quartering now. I get it. It's the only thing giving you some good solid views. But I will say I'm generally impressed at the viewership here. 335 viewers. Generally impressed by that. But I want to see if his chat's moving much. I just want to refresh it, right? I've muted it for obvious reasons, but I just want to remove my head temporarily, right? Just look at his chat, right? I just loaded it up. He has 346 viewers right now. Look at his chat. For a guy with 350 people, your chat is moving as slow as mine. And I have 50 people in my chat. I think my chat's probably... Now, I think my chat is probably moving quicker than his. He's streaming on Rumble too, on the left. Yeah. But his chat's moving a lot quicker on Rumble. But on YouTube, it's barely moving. I mean, his chat is moving much better on Rumble. That doesn't even look like someone with 100 views. I'm just saying, right? I've got 50 concurrent views, right? I'm pretty happy with that. He's got 300 and it's going up and down. It's around 350 to 360. And his chat is slow, almost as slow as mine. You cannot tell me that people are just watching and that's it. Unless they're watching on two different streams and they're like people are watching them on Rumble and YouTube. Again, I'm not saying he's botting. I'm just saying it's pretty weird that his chat's moving pretty slowish. Dunno. Little bit sus. I'll put my fugly head back in the way again. But I just thought that was funny. And now I can see why he's covering the quarter in so much. Why all bread tubers like that? I do have a theory that there are many content creators that do bot. I'm not saying he is explicitly, but I'm just saying there is a lot of like botting going on Twitch, and I believe a lot of people have called out Rumble and Kick, because Rumble and Kick are very well known for botting. Does Chodge Logic even matter? I know he's been able to scalp a couple of guys while back. He's just boring and ghoulish care about. I've watched a couple of his videos, to be honest. He doesn't really say anything different that anyone else of his group says, especially with the Tectone stuff, right? There's been some decent documentary videos on Tectone, and I'll be completely honest, they all say the same thing. Even though it's good documentary on Tectone, I find a lot of it is very much the same, right? They generally just say the same three things. But I just, yeah. Like I said, it's nice to see those kinds of videos that document content creators, point out different things they say, point out the hypocrisies, point out the lies. But a lot of the times, those kind of content creators, they all say the exact same thing when it comes to their opinions. So I generally don't really care to listen to all of them, because they're all like 30 of them and they all say the same thing. So I just watch one of them and go, yep, that's the general consensus amongst them, and I move on. Sounds like they like to play roundabouts with their words. Yeah. I just think... And again, I think I still actually have him up there. I just kind of seen if you actually talk about Chibi, but... His chat's moving a little bit faster. But it's just not really moving that. And he's got 374 now. So it's gone up. And his chat, I think... I don't know, I just think it's weird. I think it's sus that his chat is starting to pick up momentum, but before it was barely moving. Now it's starting to, now that he's reached 375, he's gained an extra pretty much 25 followers. Now the chat's starting to move a little bit better. I think that's a little bit sus that, you know, he needs an extra 25 views and now suddenly his chat starts to move. You had 350 and it barely moved, and then suddenly you gained an extra 25, and then suddenly it starts moving now. Okay, that's a little bit sus. Again, I'm not accusing him of botting, I'm just saying it's suspicious behavior. But I don't think Chibi said anything new. It was 2 hours ago. I wonder if Brandon will talk about the Twitter situation in his stream tomorrow, or will his mods and friends stop people from talking about it stream every Saturday? That's if he does stream. He said he was stepping away for a while. If I was Brandon, I would not talk about this situation. I would just ignore it. His best move is just to move on from it. Every one of these guys just seems to manage like everything else related to politics. I mean, I try to add my own perspective on things. I try to, well, I mean, it's not like I try to create an opinion that's unique, but I generally feel like I add something different and unique as far as the opinion goes. Because I try to look at things much more logical and much more reasonable. But a lot of these content creators, they generally just look at things as much more of a, how can I monetize this as much as possible, or drama farm it. Chibi should make Home Alone traps. It was funny because I saw one of the comments people saying he should get a gun. He does have a gun. He does own one. You are the epitome of Pippa's liver meme from Always Sunny in the Philip. What does that mean? I need to know what that means. I need to know what that means. It's gonna drive me up a wall all night. I'm just kind of checking because I'm getting notifications and it's mostly just people liking one of my tweets where I kind of called that kid out that was like, oh, you should debunk this stuff more often. Because I did make a tweet where I said this. I would love to see the same people crying 2 days ago about the other drama also call this out. And that's what I mean. Because I did end up replying to that thing from last night. And I just ended up I did say I'd block the kid. So I did fulfill on that. What kind of gun? Shotgun? He's got a handgun. He's got a handgun. He showed it in a video once. It's just a normal baseline handgun that he's got. It's very annoying when content creators repeat themselves 2 to 3 times for the sweet ad revenue. Yeah, I think that's annoying as well. I sometimes will repeat myself on stream. I'm pretty annoyed. I sometimes have that bad habit, but that's on stream. I try to not repeat myself in videos because I do find it annoying as well. It's more so when it's deliberate that it's really irritating. Like if someone just deliberately says something and then just instantly repeats it and then repeats it, it's, yeah. But there is also other content creators that have gotten really clever with it where they will repeat something, but they'll rephrase the wording so it sounds different, but it's just saying the same thing, just slightly rephrased. That gets on my nerves. Mother's Basement does it all the goddamn time. He will make a 20 to 30 minute long video, especially a 30-minute long video, and he will repeat the same thing 5 times, just rephrase it. And I'm like, he used to do it way back when he was much smaller. You always say that you are sharp. You're always accurate in your predictions. Look the meme up. Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up. I mean, that does fall back to what I said previously. And I'm going to repeat myself. Remember that thing that I said when I mentioned about how I have that hypersensitive pattern recognition? It falls into that category as well when it comes to just general prediction of behavior, general trends, and all that kind of stuff. Don't mind repeating yourself because I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. Yeah, I probably have a bit of all that. I mean, I've been told that I had ADHD when I was a kid, but apparently it was just dehydration. He needs to maintain that shit. I don't trust that one. Yeah. I just don't trust a lot of the drama tubers in the sort of left-leaning space, but a lot of the right-leaning space as well, they're pretty dodgy as well. I just find a lot of it's just that bloody mosquito is kind of always annoying. But I mean, there was one video I was going to react to tonight. Let me just check. I wanted to react to this tonight. Well, I was actually going to react to it to a different night. I still want to finish the Chibi video. But I was going to react to this because he uploaded it 19 hours ago. I might do it in a bit. We'll see. I did have Patreon members message me saying that they wanted me to do a collab with Worlds of Paradise. We have spoken. We have spoken in DMs. There is a collab being worked out. Me and Worlds of Paradise are going to collab at some point. So, just putting that on the table. We will probably do a collab. I believe also he mentioned I can't remember her name. I can't pronounce her name. I'm terrible. But she'll the big booby VTuber chick, the hot one, the one with the hot avatar. She'll be on there as well. So there'll be some collaboration with that. So that'll be pretty cool. Oh, also, have you ever tried wearing your maid outfit when you go to the dojo? Hell no. Why would I do that? I can't even get my maid outfit on me anymore. I've gotten fat. I've gained weight. Hey, Spiritual, weird question. What do you mean of not having modern politics in fit? I need to use my eyes. Read that. Hey, Spiritual, weird question. What do you mean by not having modern politics in fictional media? Just wanting to on the things because I kind of forgot. Are you talking about how I talk about how... Because people say media is political. but I always say, you know, stories don't have modern day politics built into the story itself. Say, for example, right, Alia sometimes have feelings in Russian, right? People will say all art is political, but it's like, okay, but what modern day politics is in that? Like, what references does Alia have to Donald Trump, right? Or Joe Biden, or some Putin, or something like that, right? It's more about the fact that people say all art is political, and I'm simply saying that how does something like Alia sometimes has her feelings in Russian be political, right? How is it a political statement? And people can't ever give an exact answer of how it's political. They just say all art is political, and I'm saying there is no modern day politics in it. But then you could say, okay, well, what do you mean by modern day politics? Okay, so to give context, and this is a great example, Dance and the Vampire Bond has politics in it. The story is actually based on the beginning of the story is based on the Japanese period of the Great Depression when it was going through a financial recession. So it builds it on the foundation of Cynthia is the VTuber and whoop. Yeah. I've seen I've watched their stuff before. I don't watch everything, but I watch a lot of their stuff. But back on the topic. So there is not modern day politics in this, but there is politics in this in the framework of a old part of a story that uses it as a foundation to build a story. But is this story political in the sense of modern day politics? The answer is no. This isn't a statement about Trump. This isn't a statement about Putin. This isn't a statement about Japanese politics in a current modern day setting. It is a story in the frameworks of history-based politics, using it as a foundation to build a story upon. Because it's what it's based on. She builds a bond by using the funds that they have to buy that area or that land or that area based on the economic difficulties that Japan was going through during that depression state. So it's built on a political part of history. Alia hates Ukraine. Source, trust me, bro. Exactly! Alia wants to conquer Ukraine. Trust me, bro, it's in the latest volume. But that's what I mean by modern day politics in anime, right? Does this have politics in it? Yes. But is it a political statement about modern day politics? No. So is all art political? No. Alia is Putin, clearly a spiritual. Yeah. Alia is Putin in disguise. Secretly learning how to persuade men to slowly fall into line. But you kind of get my point there. I remember you used to be skinnier. Isn't gaining weight a good thing? Yes. Gaining weight for me is a good thing. I was much thinner. I was around 45 kilos 2.5 years ago. Probably between 40 to 45 kilos. I am now around 65 kilos. I have gained weight, which is good. That's what my doctor wanted. My doctor wanted me to gain weight. I don't really gain any more weight now. I've kind of slightly gone up a couple of kilos here and there, but that's generally muscle mass because I generally have to work out because of my training. So that's generally the case. I've had to stop doing some work around the house, so I haven't really finished all the stuff here because I ended up hurting my back in the garden. I don't know how I hurt my back in the garden. I just did somehow. I think I was picking up a bunch of bags of cool drink, and I hurt my back because I think I lifted it in the wrong way and I twinged my back and I was like, ah. And before someone says I sound like a boomer, I'm 65. I'm 66. 36 years old. Jesus Christ. I'm losing the marbles. The whole Chibi situation is sad and crazy. It is. It is. I see. And what if someone writes a part of their story of something written in modern politics but made on a more esoteric basis, like the way... I mean, again, there are stories that are politically driven in modern day politics. Yeah, there are stories that are using modern day politics as a framework. But my point is when people say all art is political, I say that is wrong. Not all art is political. That's just simply where I stand on it, is that not all art is political. Some art is political, but not all art is political. 65, 66, soon 60... 36. I'm 36 years old, not 66. I mean, I've always been very thin, so I've always been able to eat a lot. I just got fish and chips tonight, so I just had that before I started streaming. Uh, what's the politics of Nasika? The politics of Nasika is Tsunderes are an inferior product. And also, it takes, what, like 30 volumes to get through it? How many volumes are there? 25 volumes of Nasika? I think? Or 26? 25 or 26 volumes? It's behind me, so I had to look. Slowly on the way to 69. I know, right? Imagine when I finally turn 6'7". 6'7". I like the way my eye just went like But yeah, I probably should finish the video from Chibi. I just seen if he's done any updates or anything. He hasn't posted anything. I'm scared. Should be. Huh. Apparently the person that posted the tweet where they lied about Chibi, they ended up getting their tweets removed. It was like suspended. That's just funny. Funnily stupid. Say 6'7" again and I'll refund all my dones. I really just want to do it just to troll you now. Candy? 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 You asked for this. 6'7". I don't want to scream too loud. It's like just after 10 PM. The neighbors might hear me. Oh.
Completely blunt. And at the end of the day, I know it's crazy to say. I know I'm a content creator. But I am a human. At the end of the day, I am just a human being. I am flesh and blood, talking, living, breathing human. The same as all of you guys out there right now that is watching this video. If you are still watching this video, there might only be like a few hundred watching it right now. And if so, well, to the few individuals that are watching this video right now at this point, I do thank you. Thank you for dealing with my annoying self for this long. But back into the point. Basically, you're probably wondering, okay, so if all of this, all that is what drove me to be a YouTuber and all that, why would I want to quit? Well, obviously, there was no reason.
I mean, it's pretty obvious why you would want to quit with this much pressure on your shoulder and everyone well, not everyone, but a lot of these people attacking you.
Like, I was close because I just was so tired of the overwhelming negativity. The lack of, like, how can I say? I wouldn't necessarily say support, because you guys have supported me, like I already opened up with this video. But the overwhelming nature of just how many content creators were...
How do you do, fellow kids? Yes.
Trying to run me off the internet. There is a lot, I think you guys have seen, that have legitimately tried to slander me, use fake screenshots. They have just labeled me any form of buzzword under the sun. People have called me literally a pedophile. They have called me a Nazi.
You can't say those words. I'm going to get demonetized. I want to get demonetized. I like making money.
They have called me racist, transphobic. They have called me all sorts of things. Any type of label you can...
Hey. I self-identify as a racist. Thank you very much. My pronouns are racist. I don't know what else I'm going to go with, but I identify as racist. I hate everyone equally. Oh, that's it. My pronouns are sexist and racist. There we go. So I'll take that serious. I still don't understand why Chibi got so much hate. He didn't do anything. He posted a Dan meme. And he also said he didn't like Boruto. Which, let's be honest here, Boruto is kind of shit. And so is Naruto. Just saying. It's not that great. I just want to say it because it just irritates that community. But it mostly just, yeah, started from there. He posted a Dan Ladan meme and it got out of control and people like twisted it and saying that he was defending something. And at this point, they just label you anything. I mean, I've been called a lot of the same buzzwords he has. Didn't know you were a... that's yeah, racists fooling that.
Can imagine. I pretty much have been called.
I just, again, the reason why I say I'm racist is because I just like jokes that are like racist jokes, but I like them equally, right? If you're gonna be into racist jokes, you need to like all of them. It's just comedy's comedy, but people always just go, that's racist when you make a joke about like someone's like nationality or something.
At this point, and the crazy.
Yeah, Naruto should have ended ages ago. Boruto, I don't know, I just feel like they're milking it.
Thing is how the internet works is that when things start to spread, when things get talked about, especially if there's louder voices than me, people start believing that. And so there is a lot.
And see, that is a very valid point actually he brings up there. When enough people say something, people believe it. And you don't even need a lot of people to say it either. If you just get enough people to just make something up. And here's the thing. I have a saying. People believe what they want to be true, not what to be true. People will make their own truth up in their own mind. They'll create a fictional story. Because if someone hates you enough, the truth doesn't matter. That's why I always say, if you want to hate me. But at least hate me based on facts, not in a fictional headcanon. And that's what I've always kind of said, is at the end of the day, you're free to hate me. Just make sure you hate me for the facts, not for some made-up story you made up in your head to try and justify your hate. And that's what I think a lot of people have done with Chibi, is they've made a fictional villain in their mind, and they've pictured that, and they've buried it in their mind and gone, this is why I hate Chibi. And so whenever they go after people, and a key example is this tweet here, which is now deleted, which I showed before the stream. Not before the stream, but during the stream, where that guy was like, oh, well, you know, I'm not trying to hate, but maybe you should have, you know, not called people lollies. And then you find out it's like, he didn't. Chibi never called anyone a lolly in public. It was just a fake screenshot. But people hate Chibi because of that screenshot. But the screenshot's not even real. It's fake. But people don't care. They just want it to be true. Bro, my phone crashed. What did I miss? I swear to God. I swear to God, Candy. If you missed my 6-7, don't make me do it again.
A lot of people on the internet right now that straight up will just instantly think that I'm a raging racist, or I'm a transphobic person, or I'm someone that, you know, is an extremist on left or right leaning, whatever. You know, I've had both. I've literally been called...
I've been called alt-left. I've been called alt-right. I think it's hilarious because the left accused me of being on the right accused me of being on the left. I think a lot of people know that, yeah, no, I didn't, please, not again. Gotcha.
On both sides. And it's just like, it's crazy just how...
If you made me do it again, I'd start running around the room screaming 6-7.
The internet works when you,
just to be sure.
You have people that really want to kind of prey upon you and rip you apart as a person. And I've realized over time now, especially in the last 2 years, people will hate you for nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. And they will use any way to rip you apart, to try to tear you down to the point of where you give up. You're done as a person. For, I would assume, the essence of they having power over you, or just the sadistic glee that they can tear someone down. I don't know, okay? Maybe there's more. But one of the things I've come to terms with is that people will hate someone for no reason. For instance, let's say someone has a bad day, and then you walk up to them, and then you talk with them, you try to speak with them while they're having a bad day, they might just instantly hate you. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just instantly bad end. Like for a video game, visual novel route or something, it's a bad end. And no matter what you do, that's it. They hate you. And you didn't do nothing. You didn't say nothing wrong. It just... They were in a bad mood at the wrong time, wrong moment, and they decided to hate you. And that's the end of the discussion. And there's nothing you can do to change someone's mind. The other factor I've realized over time is that people really do like easy targets. They like punching bags. They like people that...
This is very true. Oh, come on. I'm a genuine fan of Boruto and Naruto. I'm mostly just shit-stirring when it comes to hating on Boruto and Naruto, but I'm personally just not really a big fan of it. I mean, if you enjoy it, that's fine. I'm mostly just trolling, but I kind of, when I watched Naruto way back, I don't know, I just didn't really find it as interesting. I kind of got bored of it. Probably too much filler in it, maybe for me. But then One Piece kind of fell into the same line. So much filler in the early stages that it kind of like threw me off a little bit. But I really want to get back into One Piece because I did somewhat enjoy the concept of it. It was just, it drove me up a wall with all the filler stuff.
That are safe to hit. And I've realized, especially over the last 2 months, 2 to 3 months, that I am that target. I am that target that is a safe target to hit. I am. And coming to terms with that and realizing that there will be more voices that will outcry against me within time over the years if I continue to have an online presence is something that did bother me. Kind of does bother me still. But I'm learning to accept that because as a content creator, if you're on an online space, you're going to be met with a lot of stuff like this to be able to, like, you're going to be met with a lot of this stuff. And
isn't One Piece getting a reboot with much less filler? Yes, it is. But when it gets done and how long it takes to get through it all, that's the problem. I like the filler in One Piece. When I talk about filler, I'm talking about like all the unnecessary recap stuff. That just kind of drives me up a wall. And you can try and skip it. It's just so much of it. Right? I don't mind filler episodes in the sense of like fluff story. But just like the over excessive recapping, stuff like that, I find that really annoying. Like Slime did it with all the previous seasons, where they would do like what I call the table episodes, where they just recap stuff. That drove me up a wall. I generally just wanted to rip my hair out. I've watched the first episode of Slime, that they actually haven't really done that, which is really good.
You just got to accept it. And is that right? Is it okay to accept all this like hatred and evil, slander, or whatever, even if it's not true? It's not right. But at the end of the day, there's nothing you can change about it. If society deems you a target, they deem you an easy target or a punching bag, you're that punching bag. That's just how it is. And I realized that, especially in the last 2 days, when everything that happened with my brother, and I'm just going to say millions of people have seen it. I've seen content creators, and I've seen people on TikTok and stuff talk about it already, making fun of it, which is crazy. I realized that these people are animals. They actually legitimately, they think like they think because they have this perception of me that I'm, let's say, a vile, evil person, a criminal, so to speak, that it's justified to go after someone that is deceased, or not even technically me, but a relative of mine. I realize and people will accept this. They'll be fine with individuals attacking people adjacent to me for not even doing anything, because I'm the punching bag. Now, I can accept that role, but it is hard. I'm not gonna lie. Dealing with people trying to punch back, use other people around you as a punching bag. It is. It is definitely. And those thoughts of wanting to quit again did appear like a day ago. It did. But I am someone that's already been... I've already had some of the worst stuff that basically can happen to me now. Like, I have people literally making, like, bone chair memes for my brother. Spamming in the YouTube comments, by the way.
Yeah, he gets a lot of those. I kind of wish I hope he blocks them. Because I block a lot of them.
Probably seen them. People doing that on social media, obviously, to Twitter, etc. I've had people, AI generate my brother's corpse. And it's crazy. And some people that, I know on social media and circles remain silent on this. They don't say anything.
I know who he's referring to. I just made the tweet about that. Because, yeah. If you know from two days ago, certain content creator kicking and screaming about transphobia, but when you see this stuff, they don't want to talk about it. And again, it's more about the selectiveness of certain content creators that care about one thing, but when their community does something that's identically the same to someone else, they're perfectly fine with it.
They don't speak out how wrong this is. Because of optics. Because of,
When he said the word optics, I know exactly who he's talking about.
virtue signaling, or, in this case, politics. There's a lot of people, I realize, that, despite potentially silently supporting me, will never say anything to advocate or try to defend me, because of optics. It's crazy. It's really crazy to see stuff like that, and...
Because you need to understand, Chibi, these people are friends with people that hate you. And they're all in the same chat groups, they're all on the same Discord servers, and so those that... And this is the thing, this is why I don't make friends with bad people. I don't make friends with snakes, I don't make friends with bad people. Why? Because when you start associating yourself with bad people, you become the bad person. And that's the problem with some of these content creators, is that they're so focused on the optics and climbing the ladder that they surround themselves with bad people, and that inevitably they become the bad person. And they never look at themselves and go, hey, maybe I shouldn't be around these people that are actively defending, wanting Chibi and other content creators. Because, by the way, a lot of the people that have been attacking Chibi, they also do attack me, just not to the same degree. They talk about how much they hate us in private chat groups and all the rest. And the reason why they go after Chibi is because he's a bigger target, right? He's a much larger content creator. He's got a lot more personal life out there. He's an easier target for them, right? And they like tearing these people down. Wouldn't surprise me, Brandon wouldn't have talked about Chibi if his friends aren't against Chibi. I can guarantee you, yeah, Brandon would have never made that original tweet saying that he's distanced and doesn't want to be associated with Chibi if his friends didn't. And I told Chibi that. When that tweet got posted, I told Chibi privately. I said, he's made that tweet because his friends have forced him to, because his friends actively hate you. It's like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They hate you. They despise you. They constantly vague tweet about him. They tweet about him in general. They're not hiding. They're very transparent about their hatred towards Chibi. And so this is why Brandon shows such hostility towards Chibi. But yet, Brandon keeps saying, oh, I don't want to be associated with Chibi, but then keeps tweeting about him. Brandon just needs to shut the fuck up. It's that simple. He just needs to be quiet. But he doesn't, because his friends keep pushing him, going, yeah, hate on Chibi. So Brandon jumps in on it. Because it's all about the optics. He wants to appease to his friends. But you got to ask yourself the question, are they really good friends? I wouldn't be friends with those kinds of people. Why? Because it's very clear they're very hateful, they're very spiteful, they're very vindictive people. So once they're done destroying one person, they'll move to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's very clear that they're the type of people that will be friends with you because there's something to gain for them. Those are the kinds of people I don't want around me. It's why I simply keep my friend circle very close, very tight-knit, because I don't need unnecessary weights that hold me back. I like making friends. I'm very sociable, but I don't believe in unnecessary baggage. There is no point holding yourself back with bad people, because when you surround yourself with bad people, it will take you down a bad path. You nip the problem in the butt.
It's just to see how many people in this world is actually snakes. And, honestly, really, I would say just, like, animals. Like, they have no morals, no moral compass in anything. I've gone on a little bit of a tangent, though. Let me back up here for a second. Basically, I was close to being just done and leaving, but I decided not to. Because
I mean, to be very clear, when Chibi, when his fiancée cheated on him, Mother's Basement made a mocking tweet about him. So, if you need to 100% agree with someone to be their friend, then they're not your friends. Agreed. And that's the problem with Brandon, is I think he's behaving in the way that he is because his friends are forcing him to. Which Brandon? The one that plays Blue Archive and streams and does AniTuber content. Not the light novel author Brandon. Not the one that writes his own light novel author books. I don't dislike that Brandon. That Brandon's alright. I ended up unfollowing him just because he self-plugged his books too much, and I just kind of wasn't as interested in seeing 100 tweets of him self-plugging his books. Brandon Talks, yeah, I think that's... Yeah, Brandon Talks is the one there that I'm talking about. So
Because that is one of the big things I still have. My own agency as a person.
the only gotcha YouTuber I watch is Proof Darkness 4. Well, now you watch 2 because last night's stream, because we did a niece. I still have it up on the other screen. I was doing some of the campaign story before I started streaming.
My agency as if I want to continue or not, and run away. And obviously, the main objective, I think, at this point, what a lot of people want from me, that they haven't already done.
What happened to the Blue Eye community? I know they're the strongest gotcha community. Nothing really happened to the community. They just got fed up of Brandon's BS. They called him out very heavily. And so there's a bit of a fracture. I wouldn't really say it's much of a fracture. It's a very small subset part of the Blue Archive community that's on Brandon's side. They're just getting called out. But most of them aren't even part of the Blue Archive community. Like, for example, there's this kid called Cloudy who came after me last night with a bunch of rubbish. He's trying to defend Brandon, but he doesn't even play Blue Archive. And even the Blue Archive community was calling him out, saying, you don't even play the game, why do you even care? I didn't know you were a Nikkei player till yesterday. That's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that I play and watch behind the scenes that I don't talk about. But I talk about Nikkei a little bit on my X account. I post stuff from time to time. Because I enjoy it. I don't have any figures yet. I really want to get a couple of figures. I really want the Anise one that's just came out. So if there is one, I'll get it.
Done to me now is 2 big things. They want me to be off the internet, and they want to kill me. That's it. That's literally the last.
After today, he's right. Within 12 hours, yeah.
Last things that these individuals can basically do to me.
I mean, they already did before that, but that just showed even more proof.
And I didn't think I would ever be in a position in my life to where I would have all this heinous stuff that happens to me, like being swatted.
Are you going to play Netherless to Netherless when it releases? I have no idea what that is. If it sounds and looks good, I'll consider it.
Having desecrations happen, people celebrating and cheering for grave desecrations, big content creators at that, having people like Hassan literally laughing at me almost dying, like being done, me being dead-ended basically.
Yeah, Hassan's not a good person, and might I remind people that Trash Taste had Hassan on their podcast. Joey, who is meant to be friends with Chibi, had Hassan on that podcast. Joey should actually call it out, but see? Joey won't call it out because he's friends with bad people. So when you surround yourself with bad people, you behave in a way that benefits the bad people, thus making you bad. Because when you're friends with these bad people, you don't want to upset the bad people because you're friends with them. So you start to, you adopt their behavior. You reinforce that behavior. This is why I don't surround myself with bad people, or at least try to minimize it as much as possible.
Having people basically just label me anything under the bus. Because, once again, easy target. It's, I've been deemed whatever the internet wants to deem me, so that's the label I am given. But anyways, to make a long story short, are
you aware of the Rapid English VA is part of the Genshin Impact VA shenanigans? No. I'd have to look into it more. But doesn't surprise me because the VA community is very small and tight-knit. They need more voice actors. They generally do. Not like I'll ever be a voice actor. This mosquito's driving me up a wall. Because there's just not that many English, and I'm a male, so I would never be able to do those voice actors because they're all female characters. So yeah,
don't know where I would be without you guys. It's been one of the
Connor shouldn't be part of Trash Taste whatsoever. Generally, he's horrible. The thing is a lot of people excuse Connor's bad behavior because he does a lot of charity streams, and that's what a lot of these content creators do. They're bad people. Oh, it's Anime GT. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I probably will play it. I will probably play it. I think I know which one you're referring to. But yeah, I hate how a lot of bad content creators use charity as a way to scapegoat their bad behavior. Because yeah, a lot of people see what Connor does and they go, oh yeah, he's a bad person because of those things. And they say, yeah, but it's okay he's a bad person because he does charity. And it's like, just because he does good things does not excuse the bad things that he keeps doing. Yes, yeah, the English VA for Rappy is part of the problem. Also, you use Japanese voices acting in Nikkei. I use the English, but I could probably change it to Japanese very easily. I know Chibi from the Anime Man, good old time. Yeah, I mean, Joey used to be friends with, or used to be on good terms with Chibi. But I've noticed even Joey's very heavily distanced. And honestly, Joey should be calling that stuff out. But again, remember, Joey is associated with himself with probably some pretty bad people. So, and that's why he's gone to his second channel, because he's trying to go back to his original content. Joey's trying to rebuild his old audience because most of his audience has turned on him now. Because he basically sold the anime community out and the gaming community out for trend chasing in Japan, and now people don't care about that content. So now he's trying to go back to the whole let me sit in front of my computer like what I do, which is funny because I feel like Joey kind of imitated a lot of what I started doing, because I wanted to go back to old school style YouTube content to really represent what YouTube was about, and then he started mimicking that right at the same time. I don't know if it's a coincidence or what, but you know.
Roughest.
People should have stayed with Lost Paws. Lost Paws, I would still love to know what happened between Joey and Lost Paws, but I can generally guess what happened. But I'm going to be honest, I think the fame got to Joey's head, and I think the fame didn't get to Lost Paws' head. And I think Lost Paws stayed true to who he was, even if it came at the cost of his own viewership. And Joey got too big-headed, and now he's trying to go back to who he used to be. Was Joey's friends with Chibi? They were on very good terms. Yeah, they're meant to be on good terms. I heard rumors that Chibi was going to be on Trash Taste at one point. But due to COVID, it didn't end up happening.
Few months, technically, of my life that has fun.
Lost Paws is generally one of the few YouTubers that never changed himself. No, he didn't. He's stuck true to who he is. Does he get massive views? No. Does it matter? No. He's still very comfortable. He's still very happy with the content he does. And even though Lost Paws doesn't follow me, which I don't blame him, by the way, for not following me, even though I follow him, he still likes my memes. He's respectable enough to like my memes. And he's mentioned me in one of his videos. Lost Paws is generally a very kind-hearted, good person. He's generally a good person. Like, does he make the most, innovative content out there? No. It's simple, it's memeable, it's fun, it's grounded. It's just old YouTube, really. As good as old YouTube could be. Do I kind of wish Lost Paws would do some of his old visual novel content? Kind of, because that's what I remember him for. But will he ever go back to that? Probably not. I'd love to see Lost Paws do some of that stuff, but I'm just happy that Lost Paws still does a lot of the same stuff that he always used to do. I'm getting like pings on Discord servers while this is all going on about Data Live. So, just kind of funny. Because there's actually, maybe I need to do that video at some point too. But yeah, I like how Lost Paws has stayed true to who he is. Joey changed. Joey changed a lot when he got bigger. And that's why Joey's trying to go back to who he used to be, because of the fact that Joey lost a large portion of his audience because he pivoted too much. He alienated most of his audience. And because I think Joey started to show that he wasn't really quite generally who he was, he's trying to rebuild that image back up. And it's hard for me to trust that, because it makes me wonder, is he just pretending to be a good person again? Or has he genuinely changed? I remember when Nux and Connor were pretty close. I mean, Nux used to be pretty decent friends with a lot of people on the left. And then things changed. You didn't know you were live streaming? Oh. Yeah, I try to post it on X now, just to kind of make sure everyone knows that I stream. Because I sometimes, well, my old streams I didn't used to promote. He might later start mimicking your door intros. I wouldn't be surprised if Joey doesn't start trying to mimic some type of behavior type thing like that. I'm trying to not do the door intros too often, but I still do them from time to time. I don't want to overdo them. But again, the door intros are a callback to Max Mofo. So if you know Max Mofo, that's old school callback to that. Which again, I don't care if people do the door intro because it's not mine. And I never coined it anyway, and it's not mine to own. But it's more about the fact that I just feel like Joey kind of is trying to mimic other people to go back to his old school style, because I think a lot of people don't enjoy the newer version that was Joey, because I think Joey just changed into a bad person. Your Twitter got censored very hard. Did it? I'm just going to check something, because I have an app to check if I've been shadow banned. I haven't been shadow banned, so that's a positive. Nah, I haven't been shadow banned, so... your intro should be a karate move or a blooper when you're practicing. The thing is, whenever I kick the door, I don't kick it very hard. I tap it, because it moves very easily. But right now, there's no door stopper for the wall. So if I kick it too hard, it will actually go through the wall. So and you'd say, why haven't I put a door stopper there? I had to remove it because I've got to sand it back and paint it. Once I finish painting it, I'll put the new door stopper there. Because I've got the door stopper right here, the new one. The old one is brown. I know, I'm racist. I'm a very racist person. Oh, shit, my head. Here it is. Here's the new door stopper. Right? But the old one is brown. So yes, I'm very racist. I'm getting rid of the brown one for the white one, because I don't like brown. But no, it's because the border on the bottom is gone from chocolate brown to white. So of course you're not going to have a brown door stopper. You're going to have a white door stopper. So I've got to replace it. So it's not there right now because I've got to sand it and paint it. So I've got to be careful when I do the door intros, because the door handle will go through the door. There we go. I know you do not like Mujin, but can you check his video regarding Genshin Impact bag? So if you want to know more about the video. I don't hate Mujin, I just think he's an idiot. I just generally think he's an idiot. I think he really needs to stop making sloppy content and really focus on trying to actually delve deep into proper facts. It's about Aki because Joey liked her and Lost was trying to make a move on it. I generally speculated that it was probably something to do with that probably both of them liked Aki. Because if you remember way back in the old days when Aki, Joey, Lost Paws, and Misty were all collaborating together, a lot of people shipped Lost Paws and Aki together. And I think Lost Paws kind of liked Aki, but Joey probably wanted to snag her, and so he ended up jumping on her. But also, I just generally don't like Aki. I think Lost Paws can do better than someone like her. I think she's very fake and superficial. She's been called out many times for stealing people's content, doing very shady practices, stuff like that. So, I don't know. I just feel like Lost Paws deserves better than someone like her. I generally don't think she's a pleasant person, but I guess, you know, Joey and her, probably a match made in heaven, so... yeah, I know Lost Paws got engaged. I congratulated him on that. I know about that. I'm very happy for him. Just wish I got a wife.
Fundamentally changed the very trajectory. I just butchered that. You know what? Let's talk about that. A lot of people like to...
I'm surprised your waifu is and not Hideori. Oh, did you see my tweet about it? I generally suck with names. I just like her because she's like, I don't know. I just think she's cuter. I mean, okay, with Hiriori, I don't really think the story's really that far with her right now. I was just trying to remember the face to the actual name. I don't know. I meant your post gets flagged many times by X. Oh. Let's have a look. I'm not going to show this, but let's have a look. I'm just going to check my account on like a baseline browser just because I want to see I just want to see if it allows me to see if some of my media has been shadow banned or been like it doesn't say it on the account. Maybe I'll have to get a friend's account. But it doesn't say any of my tweets have been locked or anything. It's weird. I don't know. Doesn't really make any sense. Lost Paws always loved his community and never took them for granted. No, he didn't. It's kind of sad. Such a nice man doesn't get any views. What do you mean, Lost Paws? I mean, his videos do okay-ish. Just change VPN to India and you'll see everything. It could be dependent on your country. I think some countries heavily censor my posts. Lost Paws is part of the 7 Headley Virtues for sure. Oh, yeah. Lost Paws hasn't lost who he is. Lost Paws has always stayed kind of true to who he is as a person. And I generally respect that as a content creator because, as I said, he hasn't changed. Like, sure, he does a lot more meme content and less visual novel stuff. But that was understandable based on how YouTube changed. But Lost Paws still does the meme content. He still does the fun content. He didn't just suddenly do all Japanese culture stuff because all he cared about was views. He still does all the fun stuff. He streams, he interacts with his community. He never really got greedy. He built a solid foundation that was strong enough to support himself financially, and then he just stuck with that. And that's what I want to do, right? I want to build an audience that's not, you know, massive to the point where I'm making millions of dollars a month. I just want enough to be able to use that money to survive comfortably, to do my own thing, to be able to, you know, build my own strong community. And that's it. I don't need to be, you know, massive. I don't need to be, and I'm not taking a jab at any specific content creator, but I don't need to be as big as, say, like PewDiePie or Asmongold or any of those big VTubers. I just want something comfortable, something nice, something strong, something to build a foundation on and work with there. Living in the EU, half of your Twitter posts are censored. That does not surprise me. That does not surprise me. The EU is absolutely cooked. That place is absolutely cooked.
To make fun of my speech. I have a speech impediment. I do. I'm just gonna say. Okay? There you go. I've talked about this a long time ago, but a lot of people that watch me now probably are unaware of this, but yeah, I got a speech impediment, yeah. Okay, there you go. Anyways,
I have a language disorder, just to add that on to Chibi. I am partially dyslexic.
My entire life has basically shifted because of,
my planned video with my friend for the waifu thing is still on the table. I've just got to get off my ass and sort that out, because there are other stuff that I still have to do. Surprisingly, I'm busy behind closed doors a lot. I'm planning another collaboration with another content creator at some point in the future, which will be with, and I have the video still here to show, I'll be doing a collaboration with Words of Paradise at some point with him and, again, I cannot pronounce her character name. I'm just going to call it Sin, or Cinny. Her thing. I'll be doing a collaboration with those at some point. He messaged me about it, and I said I'd be open to it. So we'll work something out at some point. I'll probably be on their podcast and stuff.
the last few months. And I've had a lot of people say the way I engage with drama and stuff is my fault, and okay, fair. But I want to say some advice here. When you are in a position, not just me getting attacked, by the way, okay? Disregard me for a second. When your family is dragged into something, sorry, I hit a branch there. When your family is dragged into something, and people tell you, stop speaking up, that sounds wrong. Like, it sounds like victim blaming. It sounds like you shouldn't speak, you should be quiet and allow your harassers and slanders and people that want you dead to win. They want you to be silent, so you should be silent for them.
He is right on that.
I don't like that mentality of basically being silent for those that want you to be silent.
I wish he would do more Sakura visual novel Let's Plays. Yes, I wish Lost Paws would do more of those. You know what? Maybe I should do some. Who wants to see Sakura visual novel Let's Plays? Woo! I don't know if they've made any more of them since when Lost Paws did them. We could do some. That'd be fun. We should do that. 100%.
I don't like that. I really don't. Which is one of the big reasons why I continue to speak up about things and talk about things, because I think it's just unjust. And will I ever get justice? Probably not. But that is life. That is how life is. It's an unjust world.
Make a poll? There's no point doing a poll. Because I remember once I did a poll for a light novel review, and 80% of people said yes. I made the video, no one watched it. I just at that point, I don't do polls. I just do whatever I want. If there's a video I want to do, I do it. But we might. It's actually a cool idea. Do some of the Sakura visual novel stuff. I don't know if I'll get demonetized. God hope not. But we'll see. Right? Is the stream lagging or just you? I do not know. Because I don't know if it's lagging on my end.
World, honestly. Not fair. But besides the unfairness, I do have a lot of good things. Like I said, I have my good health. I do have you guys, the community. I have my beautiful dogs. And obviously I have a home I could stay in. You know, I have electric, water, food, and all that. You know, it's not terrible. Like, it could be so much worse. I have good. It's not all bad. And I am very thankful for all of it. I am. But man, oh man, guys, it gets difficult. It gets difficult dealing with it sometimes. But I've grown more, I think, used to it and numb to it. And I try to push forward. What I will say before I wrap up this video, I'm not someone to admire or someone to even want to be like. I think that if there is anything, I'm someone you want to do the exact.
Play the quintessential quintuplets dating sim too. I hate quintessential quintuplets. And I've read the manga, the entire manga. I've read it from chapter 1 all the way to the end. I hate quintessential quintuplets. I hate it with a passion. I generally despise that series because of how goddamn stupid that ending was. I will die on that hill. I hate how that series ended. That series had such potential, and it ended on such a shit ending. I don't know if there's enough money in the world. I mean, if you could pick the winner, if the visual novel's decent, and you can pick the winner, maybe then I can justify it. But my god, do I get triggered from the manga and the anime. I hated how the manga ended. Such a rush ending. Such a rush ending.
Act opposite of. That's at least what I can say. Because maybe how I've handled things over the years is not the way to go. But I will say, though, it is what it is. Will I change, though, in terms of, like, not speaking up? No, I'm not going to silence myself. I'm not doing that. But for others, it might be better if you do. Because, obviously, I don't wish anything that I have experienced on anyone else. Like, even my worst enemies, I don't. It's great.
Which girl do I support? I think it's, if I remember correctly, her name, Nina. The tsundere chick. But that's pretty much everything from Chibi's thing.
But I'll wrap it up there. I love you guys. Thank you so much. May all you have a fantastic day. Or night, wherever you live.
But yeah. That's that. Did you have a problem with the girl who won, or just the ending being rushed? The ending being rushed. I didn't like how it rushed it, because it didn't finish a lot of story points. It started story points and then never actually finished them. It's just one of those where it's like, there was whole entire subplots that just were completely abandoned. Like, they brought in the biological father for like, what, 2-3 chapters, and then he disappeared and he only ever interacted with one girl. Cafe Maid Terrace, on the other hand, is amazing. Cafe Maid Terrace is goddamn amazing. Domestic Girlfriend is unironically better. Domestic Girlfriend isn't too bad. It's a bit of a weird series. Speaking of Cafe Maid Terrace, I like showing these ones off. I've still got to unbox these at some point. These are the only ones from this set, because they never did any more beyond those two. Which doesn't matter, because the girl that won is the figure that got it. So which girl was the winner? Woo! But yeah, I got those two. Some point I've got to unbox those. But a lot of people hate on this series because of the starting of it. A lot of people just don't watch the series long enough to understand that it's actually a solid anime. And it's got 2 seasons, but it doesn't have a dub, which is kind of weird, because you'd think this series would have a dub because of how decently popular the manga was. That's what puzzles me. And there's not even a physical for the manga either, which is even weirder, because honestly, the manga needs a physical release, but now the manga's finished, so you're never going to get a physical release. Are you part of the crustless gang that is headed by Gigot? I don't even talk to Gigot. I don't even follow Gigot. Gigot doesn't follow me. I've never spoken to Gigot. So yeah. So, pretty sure Gigot hates this. Yeah, Gigot doesn't like me. Gigot has spoken about me once on his stream. He never named me. He just hinted about me. All 3 of them spoke about me. They never said my name. They just hinted at a tweet that I made where I called Connor out for basically being a toxic douchebag on the internet, attacking animes because they were popular, which I used exactly Joey's words to criticize Connor for exactly the same behavior that he was doing to Spy Family that Joey criticized other people for. And so when I use those same rules that Joey applies to other people onto Connor, which applied perfectly, they didn't like it, which is why I have no respect for them, because they are hypocrites. They like to apply rules to people and then never actually apply the rules to themselves because they believe they're above others. And I generally have a lot more respect for Gigot than the other 2, but Gigot I just feel like is no better because he associates with some of the most hypocritical narcissists out there. I mean, Gigot likes pizza without crust. He hates pizza with crust. I like pizza with crust. As long as the crust isn't like 60% of the pizza, I like crust. I don't like when you go like the new, like all the pizza stores now and you get like a piece of pizza and like bulk of it's just a crust. It's annoying. But crust is good when it's done properly. Like crispy crust, right? You get the good stuff. But I probably won't do much more streaming beyond this. I mainly wanted to go over the Chibi stuff and then move on from that. Because I want to save I do want to save this video for a separate stream. Because this stream was a bit more of a heavy drama topic kind of thing. So I kind of want to save that for a separate stream. So I might do that in a day or so. And we'll go over that. But I also want to go over some other stuff as well. Just some reaction stuff. I could probably go over Monta Sensei stuff. Go over that one. Maybe we could go over this one. Go over some basic videos. Just something a little bit more lighthearted in the next stream. Which I think would be good. So... I don't want to mix some of the more fun, light-hearted stuff with this one, because this one was a bit of a darker stream because of the whole stuff with Chibi, so, yeah. Crust is good when it's done correctly, right? As long as the crust isn't, like, overly thick and takes up bulk of the pizza, then I think it's good. Like, I like crispy crust, right? Some nice, strong, good crispy crust that's, you know, good and tasty. Gonna say orange hair one. Wrong. It was blonde. Spiritu has dad vibes. I am getting old. I'm not a dad. I got no kid or partners. Need a wife. So, yeah. I mean, what we could do, you know what, Candy Sensei? I don't know how to, I don't know how to, what's the word? Raid, right? I don't know how to raid, but we could just raid Juju. I don't know if people know who Juju is, but you could all go over there when I finish streaming and then say Espiritu sent you. Because I don't know, I can't raid from one platform to another. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll just say go harass Juju. The monkey girl. See, it's monkey girl. Move my head. No! My head. There we go. Monkey girl. See? Monkey girl. Flashbang? Yeah, I was like... Gone blind. What are the chances of No Game No Life Season 2? About the same chances of me getting a wife. Take it as you will. Just sent us the link. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. I'll send the link, and then I'll end stream. So... also surprised that you like chess. Yeah, I like chess. I play chess. I got a chessboard in the other room. I just don't play it because I've got no one to play with in real life because either people suck at it or the people that I used to play with are dead. So yeah, there's that. But I mean, maybe I could download like a chess app and maybe practice chess and start getting better at it. Maybe get some practice in, that kind of stuff, and we'll see. But, yeah. Alright. I'm going to go get some food, go get a drink. Actually, it's more like I gotta feed the cat and go to the toilet and then get a drink, so. Please chess karate when? That's a weird sentence to put together, but I mean, I can't really do karate in this room, but... Maybe I'll wear my outfit during stream one night. Maybe next stream. We'll see. We'll see. Okay? So, I will link it. And I will see